in the world happened to Mr. Nickety?
Looks like he's finally showing his true colors.
Nick, look what he did to that shoulder mech.
Quit your yapping before I suture your chatty lips shut.
It's like he's a completely different person.
Sure looks like it, huh? We can't let our guards down now. Mr. Nickety, it's finally time for you to testify to the truth.
It seems we're entering the final act at last. Witness, your testimony, please.
I'm waiting for him to stick that on his head just to, like, go full, like, crazy robot. The right to remain silent. Oh, are we pleading the fifth and refusing to incriminate ourselves? That's gonna be hard to press, but I'll press it anyway. Mr. Nickety, why didn't you say anything? Camera? Ah! He just took a picture of me. Or something. Oh, it's an X-ray! Apparently his hair is bones. You want me to voluntarily testify, hoping I will make a slip of the tongue. Not a very impressive plan or brain, I might add. How do you get a picture from the side when I was like, at him? Ow! That was uncalled for. Radiation. If you want to know something, you ask the question. I will answer, but I have no intention of making any voluntary statements of my own.
What's he trying to do, Nick?
He's using the silent treatment as a strategy to avoid getting tripped up. Clever guy. No more lies, Mr. Nickety. You will tell us nothing but the truth from now on. What do you think you're doing? Ah! His cravat is bones. No one asked you to speak. Just keep quiet over there and play with your frills. How dare you?
Well, this is a rather unconventional situation, but please proceed, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor. I press you. If you won't speak voluntarily, then I guess I'll have to ask him something. What question should I ask? Reason for killing Bloomsbury, grudge against Soren, actions on the day of the crime. Those are all pretty good. I'm gonna ask about what he did on the day of the crime. On the day of the incident, you were constantly surrounded by your subordinates. Is that right? Absolutely. I was in someone's line of sight at all times. After all, I was busy taking care of every detail of the event. Mr. Edgeworth, I believe your investigation backs up my claim. I got statements that said groups of his subordinates worked with him in rotation, so he was always with someone. As the prosecutor just said, I couldn't even get close to the lantern containing Bloomsbury by myself, let alone kill him. Pierce didn't have a chance to get close to the victim alone, huh?
Mr. Wright, would you like that statement added to his testimony?
Throw it in! Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to have that statement added to his testimony.
Very well.
So it's like that, is it? I was always in the company of others. I didn't have an opportunity to murder Bloomsbury. So we're just gonna have to dig this out of him.
Hold it!
If he didn't speak voluntarily, okay. Let's just get all of these things out in place so that we have a proper testimony. Isn't it true that when Mr. Gloomsbury regained consciousness inside the lantern, you murdered him in order to silence him? He was an excellent employee and very loyal to me. Gloomsbury was my right-hand man. I'd suffer the most from losing him. You really think I'd kill a guy like that? That would make sense only if you were innocent. But since your goal was revenge, you don't really have to care about something like that. But I am innocent, I tell you. Don't try to force your conjectures onto me! Ugh. I guess without decisive evidence, I can't pursue this line of questioning any further.
Mr. Wright, would you like that statement added to the witness's testimony?
Yes. We're going to get a testimony. The hard way. Yes, please, Your Honor. Every little bit I can drag out of him helps, right? Gloomsbury was my right-hand man. Alright, we'll go through and press these things in a minute. But we're gonna press this, get the other thing thrown in. If you won't speak voluntarily. We want the grudge against Soren on there. You've been nursing a grudge against Mr. Sprocket over the loss of your fiancée. Isn't that right? I'd be lying if I said I felt no resentment whatsoever. But Master Soren didn't cause that accident on purpose. Master Soren himself has suffered greatly. But you quit being a surgeon and found a way to get even closer to Mr. Sprocket. Wasn't that so you could carry out your revenge on him? Don't insult me. Supporting Master Soren and Sprocket Aviation with my life's work is my penance for not being able to save Selena. This is how I honor her.
I feel your devotion as both a fiancé and a surgeon. Your statement breaks my heart.
I've never thought of exacting revenge on Master Soren. Never thought of it, huh? I guess I should probably take that with a pound of salt.
Mr. Wright, would you like that statement added to the witness's testimony?
Throw it in. We got some things to press now. Yes, please, Your Honor. I have to find an opening somehow. All right. I've never thought of exacting revenge on Master Soren. That seems the fishiest to me so far. We're going to press the other things anyway. What did Mr. Gloomsbury think of Mr. Sprocket? After all, he was forced to take the blame for the accident. He must have been resentful. He got his position as the lead servant in exchange for taking the blame. It wasn't exactly a bad deal for him. But he must have felt some sort of indignation. Who knows? Now that he's dead, we'll never know for sure. It's pointless to talk about it any further. All right. Dead men tell no tales after all. I've never thought of exacting revenge on Master Soren. Not ever? Never ever? So, you have had no thoughts of vengeance toward Mr. Sprocket whatsoever? Of course not! No! Selena wouldn't have wanted that, would she? No! I've thrown my own life away and live solely for the sake of the Sprocket family. That's how I show my love for her. Alrighty then.
Well, one thing's for sure. Pierce gets really emotional when it comes to Selena.
No kidding. I'm not sure how he feels about Soren, but his love for Selena is pretty obvious. I was always in the company of others. I didn't have an opportunity to murder Gloomsbury.
Hold it.
This is also a little suspicious. So you were always in someone's line of sight. I was surrounded by family members and staff as we prepared for the reception. During the reception, I was stationed behind the sweetheart table to attend to the couple. When could I have possibly committed murder? Not buying it. If Pierce is the true killer, There must have been some time when he was out of everyone's sight.
What do you think, Nick? Is there a chance for us here?
Well, as long as we have some kind of testimony from him, there has to be. I'll just have to compare his testimony against the evidence and
find an inconsistency, right?
Exactly. This is it. I have to do this right. When would he have been out of sight in the statements? So I think this is the statement. What do we got? Ellen was attacked by Gloomsbury on the visit. She saw in her dazed state a shadowy figure hit Gloomsbury from behind. Didn't get a look at whoever it was, but I think the current story is that this is Soren. So what do we have regarding the timing? Fog machine, photo of the reception. He's in the background there. Do you think he could have slipped away in the fog? I mean, that seems as good a theory as any. Let's give it a shot!
Objection!
Ooh, that music. Ooh, that music. He might be a fog ninja. Not to be confused with a frog ninja or a gray ninja. Mr. Nickety testifies that he was always with someone at the time of the incident and never had a moment alone to commit the crime.
Yes, and the police investigation backs that statement up, doesn't it?
But there was an opportunity. In fact, one, and only one. A moment when Mr. Nickety could have killed Mr. Gloomsbury without anyone noticing.
What?
And the one thing that made that moment possible is shown here in this photograph. With all these people watching, I couldn't have possibly committed murder. Do not believe him, Your Honor. This lawyer is a malignant tumor. He wants to infect this judicial body with virulent accusations. Mr. Nickety, I would ask that you keep quiet this time. We need to evaluate the defense's claim. And your yammering only serves to throw further suspicion your way.
No, no.
Mr. Wright, let's see this one thing you mentioned. But be warned. This had better not be one of your offhanded claims. Who do you think you're talking to, Mr. Edgeworth?
Very well, Mr. Wright. Please point out for us the one thing that made the moment of the murder possible.
That one moment when it was possible for Mr. Nickety to kill Mr. Gloomsbury. The one thing that made that single moment possible is this. It's generally the fog, but I think we should point at the fog up here coming out, right?
Take that!
The one thing that made the moment of the murder possible is this thick mood fog that engulfed the entire reception hall. It is under the cover of this fog that Mr. Nickety murdered the victim.
What?
Mr. Nickety was standing right next to the land that Mr. Gloomsbury was in. This was the only moment the murder could have been committed without being seen.
Objection!
I can accept that there was a moment when the witness was obscured from others by fog. But that doesn't prove Mr. Nickety killed the victim at that very moment. If you can't prove the crime was committed during the reception, the trial ends here. Ugh. I was so caught up in finding a foothold that I forgot to think that far ahead.
Well done, Mr. Edgeworth. It's time to call this trial's time of death.
Well, Mr. Wright, can you prove the murder happened during the reception?
Don't even bother. His claim is dead on arrival. Victory is within your grasp, prosecutor.
Quiet witness. I have no interest in victory. All I care about is the truth. One that we can only arrive at through further deliberation. Edgeworth.
Enough of this, Your Honor. This trial is over. No, Mr. Nickety, that is for me to decide. Dr. Nickety! Mr. Wright, can you prove it? Can you prove that the murder was committed during the wedding reception? I said no verdict yet. The lawyer's obviously out of answers. The prosecutor, the judge, they're all infected. Their malignant stupidity is so advanced, not even the best surgeons can save them. In fact, not even a brain transplant could cure them. This court is infected with idiocy. It's a pandemic.
Objection!
Mr. Nickety, that's enough already!
Finally, Dr. Nickety, finally ready to give up, are you?
No, just the opposite actually. I'll prove the murder was committed during the reception. By you.
You'll prove it? Can you really, Mr. Wright?
Yes, I can, Your Honor. To be honest, I don't know exactly how I'll do it just yet. But if I want to get to the truth Edgeworth was talking about, I'll just have to find that way.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Let's have your proof. Enough of his foolishness. He's just bluffing. Stop him from speaking, Your Honor. I will do nothing of the sort. You're just a district court judge with the power of the Sprocket family, Al. Enough of your foolishness, Mr. Nickety. This judicial body will not succumb to the influence of money or power.
Now then, let's hear it, Mr. Wright. Let's hear your truth. Think, Phoenix. I remember everything you've learned so far. You can do this. You can find the definitive evidence that will lead to this truth. Just gotta charge up my laser. Gonna charge up my laser! Think, Phoenix. How can I prove the murder took place during the wedding reception? If Pierce committed the murder during the reception, then he had to have used the murder weapon. That had to be a thing that happened, because that's what was on the thing. Yes. He used the murder weapon. Okay! Yes, the weapon that was used to strike the victim twice. According to the autopsy report, the victim was hit by the same object both times, so without a doubt, Pierce used it to commit the murder. The weapon used to kill Bloomsbury was the timekeeper. Timekeeper was the murder weapon. If Pierce struck the victim during that one single moment, then he must have used the timekeeper. Come to think of it, wasn't it also used for something else during the reception? During the reception, the timekeeper was also used for the first startup of love? The first taste of love? The cutting of the time machine. Those answers don't make sense. You're losing your head, Phoenix. I'm gonna say the first startup of love? Yeah! That's the only thing that made sense to me. The timekeeper had been activated. Oh, that's right. The timekeeper had been activated during the reception. If we activate the timekeeper again now and find any trace evidence of the murder, that would be conclusive proof that Bloomsbury was killed during the reception. A special ceremony took place during the reception in question.
What kind of a special ceremony? I love special ceremonies. Was there cake involved?
It was called the first startup of love. Apparently, the couple activated the timekeeper for the first time during it.
Does that mean the timekeeper here in evidence isn't activated at the moment? And what would happen if we were to activate it?
Why don't we see for ourselves? It would give us a chance to examine it. And while we're at it, we just might find some conclusive evidence.
What? No, you can't activate it, no! Mr. Nickety, keep quiet or I'll have you thrown out of court.
Doctor.
Okay.
My.
By the way, Mr. Wright, this is supposed to be a time machine, right? We aren't going to travel back in time to the Stone Age or anything ridiculous, are we?
I don't think we have to worry too much about that, Your Honor.
I'm still a little nervous, nonetheless, but the truth must be known. Very well, go ahead and start up the timekeeper.
Do you know how, Nick?
I think so? Maybe? It's either the key or the pendant, maybe both. The bride and groom each had a symbol of their love, and when they put them together, oh, how romantic it was! Oh, yes! Let's see. I think the symbol of the groom's love must be the timekeeper itself. What symbol of the bride's love would fit together with the timekeeper? Oh, I know. That has to be it.
Mr. Wright, are you ready to activate the time machine now?
Yes, Your Honor. The symbol of the bride's love that's necessary for activating the timekeeper is... I think it's the pendant. I'm gonna double check. This says it's used to activate the timekeeper as the key of love. We got a 50-50 chance here. Yeah, I think we do the pendant.
Take that!
Miss Wyatt's pendant is the symbol of the bride's love that's necessary for activating the timekeeper.
What? Then does that mean you can start it up with Miss Wyatt's pendant?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Very well, please try it now, Mr. Wright.
Okay, here I go. But first I have to figure out where the pendant goes. Oh! Okay. Where does the pendant go? Is there an obvious place? Probably right here, maybe? This hole looks like a good spot. I'll try setting the pendant in here. Yeah, because it makes a gear. It fits! This must be the right spot. Now I have to find a place to insert the key. Alright, so the key would go... where? Would you put it right into the actual pendant? This hole in the middle of the pendant. Could this be it? Oh, it goes right into the pendant. Ooh, that's a little saucy. Cover your eyes, children. Time to travel through time. What do we have in this thing? It worked! The timekeeper's been activated! Now all I have to do is find proof that the crime was committed during the reception. Well, there's a pretty huge dent with blood all over it on this piece of glass. I think I found it. Conclusive evidence that the murder was committed during the wedding reception. It is indeed blued. Just as I suspected, there's evidence of the murder inside the timekeeper, Mr. Nickety. The timekeeper was only activated and open during the wedding reception, right? No! Stop! Stop! So that means this is conclusive proof that the crime was committed during the reception. After you killed the victim under the cover of fog, you closed the timekeeper to hide the bloodstain, didn't you? Oh no. No, you're wrong. Ellen killed Grimsbury. It wasn't me, I tell you.
Objection!
Give it up, Mr. Nickety. How could the defendant, who is in the middle of pledging her love, have possibly committed the murder with everyone watching her? It was the family. Yes, all the family members conspired together to kill him. There's no way you can talk your way out of this, Mr. Nickety. Dr. Nickety. During the reception, during that one dreamlike moment, only one person could have used the timekeeper to beat the victim to death. And that one person was you, Pierce Nickety. No, this isn't over yet. I won't give up. No, I cut the artery. This stupid thing. We must stop the bleeding now. Give me forceps. Forceps, I say. Hey, where's everyone? Fine, I'll manage this alone. I'll do it all by myself. I can fix anything, repair anything, so you have to get better. You have to live. You must. I would have been able to save her. If only I hadn't listened to her. If only I'd treated her first. If only that someone hadn't been there. No! Selena! No! Yeah.
Witness, are you finally ready to tell us the truth?
It's just as the lawyer deduced. So it was all a revenge scheme against Soren Sprocket? Do you have any idea how hard it is to lose someone you love right in front of you? Selena's condition was clearly more critical than Soren's, but in spite of that, she said, "Please help Soren." Miss Sprocket's last words. So that's what she really meant by those words. I was able to grant her wish, but at the price of her life. So you got a job with Sprocket Aviation and waited for your chance to get revenge. You got close to Mr. Gloomsbury and hatched this plot. Is that right? Gloomsbury already bore a grudge against Soren. So when I tempted him with an even better position, he immediately took the bait. He was your accomplice, someone who shared the same goal as you. Why was it necessary for you to kill him? I didn't expect Soren to strike Gloomsbury out on the Vista deck. And I certainly never imagined he'd make his way there along the outside wall. Soren's love is the real deal after all. The power of love. Da, 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 da. My plan had been compromised, so for the time being I hid his body in the lantern and tried to think of my next move. And then Mr. Gloomsbury came to during the second wedding reception. As soon as I saw Gloomsbury, I instantly hit upon an idea. To pin the blame of Gloomsbury's murder on Ellen. You tried to break up the couple by making the bride out to be a murderer. How despicable. Soren was getting the company and a wedding. Both things that were supposed to be Selena's. He took every happiness from her. Who's the despicable one here? Do you think what you did would make her happy? I know it wouldn't! But I couldn't just stand by watching Soren enjoy his happiness. I was going to have Soren taste the same pain I had, and then take over Sprocket Aviation. I would take back from him all of the happiness that was rightfully Selena's. Time stopped for me the day I lost her. Just like this pocket watch of hers.
Yes.
Miss Wyatt?
I believe Selena would have said, leave this ill will behind. Your time is yours to live.
It's too late for me. Time will never advance for me ever again. What? It can't be. I see now, Selena. What I did was wrong.
I see no further need to continue this trial. Bailiff, please take Mr. Nickety away.
Pierce Nickety, another inconsolable time traveler who lived in time that stood still.
Now then, I must render my verdict regarding the defendant.
Your Honor, before you give your ruling, would you please allow me a moment?
Very well.
Ellen, there's something I need to say to you. Yes, Soren. I've put you through something truly horrible. This whole thing happened all because of me. I would understand if you wanted to call off our marriage. What? Of course not. I've never once thought that. If you stay with me, you'll only face even more trying times in the future. What do you mean? The truth of this incident and the car accident before it, I'm going to tell the public everything. I expect the company's reputation will suffer, and I'll take a lot of criticism. But I feel I can only really start over once I get everything out in the open. Soren? After all that's happened, I might not have the right to ask you this, but, well, how should I say this? Maybe I'll just... A life with me probably won't be very easy, but... Will you marry me? Yes, of course!
Right here in this courtroom.
Your Honor, thank you for this time. Please, continue with your ruling.
Very well. But first, I have one question. Do the two of you pledge your eternal love for each other to the goddess of justice, Themis, a thing that I'm quoting for some reason?
I do, Your Honor. I do.
Does the prosecution or the defense have any objections to this union?
Well done, Your Honor. No objections here. The defense has no objections either, Your Honor!
This court finds the defendant, Ellen Wyatt. That's not right. This court finds the defendant, Ellen Sprocket. Not guilty. I pronounce you man and not guilty.
Wedding in the courtroom, kind of. Sort of. I mean, he's a judge. He can perform a marriage.
This court is adjourned. We find you guilty of being married. The sentence is life imprisonment.
That's pretty cute. Okay. Okay. Ellen, Soren, congratulations.
Mr. Wright, I can't thank you enough. If you hadn't exposed the truth, Soren and I wouldn't.
But now you can finally start your new life together, right? Oh, thank you! Mr. Wright will be holding our real wedding ceremony in the near future. Oh, Mr. Wright, we'll be holding a real...
Would you do us the honor of coming to it?
The one who's not emotional.
I want you to witness a fresh start.
Of course! I wouldn't miss it for the world. And Ellen, this time it'll finally be happily ever after, right?
Oh, yes!
The two of you have persevered and overcome this trial together. Now, no matter what obstacles come your way, I'm sure you'll be able to handle them. And there's another thing I'm sure of, too. This person will always be watching over the two of you. It's gonna be the picture of Selena. It's gonna be my daughter, Trucy Wright. She's gonna be watching you, whether you want her to or not.
Yes, I'll be watching you! Selena, yes, I think you're right. And we promise to live life to the fullest, for Selena's sake, too. Right, Soren? That's right. Well, we'd better be on our way. Yes, my love.
Whoa! Carry her across the threshold of the courtroom lobby. Wow, the old threshold carrier, huh? Way to show off. I mean, I would probably be strong enough to pick up a person. Probably.
We'll be seeing you. Goodbye for now.
I'll be looking forward to that wedding. I better get an invite, and it better be nice. I don't care how much money you lose.
Hold on tight, Ellen. You better believe I will. I'm never letting you go.
Whoa! Rocketeer, blast off! Carry her across the threshold, and then we're gonna fight some Nazis together on a dirigible through the sky. There they go. Through the ceiling. It's probably not great for either of their heads. You don't think of going to that wedding by yourself?
You think you're going to that wedding by yourself, are you, boss? Which of us are you taking as your date? You're taking us too, right? You're getting a +2, right? Oh boy! I bet there's gonna be all kinds of fancy food there!
Athena, when did you get here? Why aren't you helping my magical daughter, Trucy?
Just now! I would have been here to cheer you guys on earlier, but Trucy never gave me a chance to slip away.
You're gonna be in even bigger trouble with her later. Speaking of the wedding, maybe I should ask them to invite Edgeworth.
Mr. Edgeworth, really? But he thought Ellen was guilty all the way to the end.
That may be true, but... Don't even bother. His claim is dead on arrival. Victory is within your grasp, prosecutor. Quiet, witness. I have no interest in victory. All I care about is the truth. One that we can only arrive at through further deliberation. If he hadn't stood up for us when he did, the trial probably would have ended there. I don't think it would have, but he did a good turn.
You mean Mr. Edgeworth gave us that chance?
Maybe. Though knowing him, I doubt he'd ever tell, even if I asked.
Well, if that's how you feel about it, Nick, then why not try to get him invited?
Hey, Maya!
Hey, Maya, have you ever tried to catch the bouquet? What? No. I never have either. Fighting over a bouquet that's been tossed by the bride, talk about a fierce competition. I'm totally stoked. I'm not sure it's really supposed to be all that competitive. I'm a pretty good jumper, so I think I got a chance.
She's definitely missing the point of this whole thing. And Larry, how did you manage to stay so quiet for so long? Shut up! Wishing the lady you fell in love with every happiness is what a real man does. I'm pretty sure that relationship was over before it even began, Larry. Darn it all! If I was only 10 years younger, things would have gone differently. 10 years younger and significantly richer, and also if you had known her before she met somebody else. Hands of time, why won't you turn back for me? Oh, Larry. Ooh, do we get to go to the wedding? Oh, a short while later. Now is the time in Sprockets and Vidance. Waiting all trial for an opportunity to use that line, and none presented itself. Today is Ellen and Soren's third wedding ceremony and reception. The third one. Third time's a charm. I heard the bride and groom insisted it be on the Flying Chapel again, and they still haven't fixed that sign for some reason. In the end, they were nice enough to invite me and Maya. And I think they kind of invited herself. They also invited Edgeworth, Emma, and even Larry. They say third time's a charm, right? Boom! I really do hope it's happily ever after for them this time around. Still, I get the feeling it's gonna be one rowdy party.
Ready when you are.
Uh-oh.
Okay, here we go!
Everybody just back off. Just back off and let Athena have it. Larry!
Look who's next!
Whoa!
Huh?
You are not a girl. Larry, you fool! I'm so sorry, ladies! I didn't mean to. Oh!
I'm truly blessed to have you.
Looks like Team Sprocket is blasting off again! Well, that's it! That's everything we got! DLC case complete! Main trial complete! This game is finito! Dunzo! Thanks for watching, everybody! That's been Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice! We've covered the whole entire thing! Thanks so much for sticking with us and making it all the way to the end. Be sure to leave any suggestions if there's other things in particular you'd like to play, but otherwise, we're gonna keep doing streams and we're gonna keep doing some other stuff around the channel. Thanks for hanging out. Do the subscribe-o if you want to see the other things, or whatever. More updates are coming all the time! Bye for now!